Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tony the Mole Adams YouTube channel. And as you can see, I am back in the studio in London. I loosely call it a studio. It's got a neon light on one side and a bookcase on the other, but that's the best I can do right now. And another fella who is back where he normally resides after it's his second week back from Thailand. Tony the Mole Adams. Tony, how are you?
Yeah, it's late evening here in Sydney, Steve, and we probably shouldn't talk about this, but everyone in Australia is still trying to come to terms with what the bloody hell's happened in America. But there you go. They're strange people, the Americans.
I am disengaging from all current events until the Russians knock on that door or until I can see a mushroom cloud out that window. And when that happens, I will take an intense interest in current affairs for the nanosecond I have left. But until then, until 2028, until either of those things happen, it's all rugby league for me. Maybe a bit of rock and roll as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe because the channel's going great at the moment. Some great interaction last week. So thank you very much for that. And don't forget, we're talking about Tony's columns, which appear on 9.com.au. So there's a link in the show descriptions to those columns. Always, always. Now,
Oh,
Tony, a big story you've got leading your column today is about a Leeds Rhino superstar who may be leaving before his contract expires. Big story, Tony. Tell us all about it.
yeah, that's right. And it's no secret that the Dragons are absolutely desperate now for a halfback with Ben Hunt leaving the club in very bitter circumstances last week. They've got a short list of about 4 or 5 players, the likes of Daniel Atkinson, Bevan French, another fellow who's under contract over there, Lachlan Ilias from Souths, and Tigers utility Adam Dewey. But I can tell you that Brodie Croft from Leeds is their number one target, and Croft's management is talking to Leeds as we speak, trying to get him out of this deal. So I guess the ball is in Leeds' court, whether they'll accept a rather large sum of money, I'd say, to release this guy, because he is, I think you'll agree, the best halfback available, a former man of steel. He's played in the NRL when he was a kid. Now he's gone over there and become quite a mature player. And at 27, probably at the height of his powers, and looks the best fit to replace Ben Hunt. So watch this space.
Now, Tony, I was talking to a fella called Drew Slover who runs the USA Rugby League, very senior position, USA Rugby League, just the other night, and I said, "Are you going to South Africa on this trip with the Hawks?" And he said, "Oh, no, I'd like to find a way to go, but I'm not going." And I'm the same. I'd like to find a way to go if anyone's watching in South Africa. But it's there's a very very familiar name in the USA team heading for this two-match Test series in South Africa, isn't there?
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say he's a global superstar, or certainly he was a few years ago. Daniel Vidot, former Raider, Dragon, and Bronco, he became a WWE fighter. He fought under the name of Exion Quinn. He's now aged 34. He got released from WWE. They had budget cuts, and I assume he's probably a little bit past his best there, but he's made the USA team, and he's off to South Africa next month for a 2-test series. So he'll certainly be one to watch over there. He was always a big, strong, powerful winger. He's in great shape physically, apparently, and should be a real handful for the South Africans, that's for sure.
Now, if you've never watched this channel before, we pride ourselves on this being the first place you hear of young up-and-coming rugby league players. I don't know if the sort of metadata where you put names in the keywords at the bottom of these videos, I don't know how that works. So if someone becomes like Captains Australia one day, if you put in their name into a Google search, will our video come up first? I don't know. I don't know about that. But we'll find out with Jonah Wilde, who's the first of two young up and coming players that you've mentioned in your column this week.
Yeah, that's right. And he's a big middle forward from Brisbane East. He's only 17, but he was a standout in the Cyril Connell Cup for East in Brisbane last season. And he was playing against kids a year older than him and really shining. He's from Brisbane Boys College and he's got several NRL clubs watching his progress. So I think he'll sign a contract sooner rather than later.
And another young up-and-coming rookie, Levi Valesini. What can you tell the viewers about him?
Yeah, he's 18 years old. He played first grade last year in the Illawarra League, which is a pretty strong league, as you know. So for an 18-year-old to be playing first grade halfback, he's obviously got something. And the West Tigers are very keen on him. I don't know how many halves the Tigers need because they've already got about 4 or 5. But this kid, I guess, is the next generation. He's only 18, as I said. He was also the Group 7 Under-18 Player of the Year last season and the Illawarra Laurie Daly Cup MVP. So he's a special talent. He hasn't signed yet, but apparently the plan is for him to play West Magpies SG Ball Cup next year and develop from there. So, yeah, as we said, another one to put down in the little black book. We got a bonus. We got 2 this week.
Albion Park, not far from where I grew up in Windang. So there you go. Those suburbs, they used to be separated by kind of forest, and there's some suburbs down that way, Tony, that actually didn't exist when I lived there. Brand new suburbs. But don't forget once more to like and subscribe. Great that we're continuing all the way through the off season. So make sure that you not only tick that box to subscribe, but maybe tell your friends about the Moles YouTube channels to continue to get your rugby league fix throughout the summer if you're south of the equator, throughout the winter if you're north of the equator. And Tony, we'll be back next week.
We will, and don't be surprised if there's a certain US president following us. I'm hearing he's a big rugby league fan and a big Bulldogs fan. That's the mail around town. So we could have a special guest follower.
Yes, well, yes. Yeah. Anyway, and now on that note, goodbye.
Goodbye.